Hey guys, Chuck Tornetta, Tortuga Ranch, and somebody had asked me how I keep my baby box turtles. I keep my baby box turtles a few different ways. Usually the water method by way like these, okay? Now these are, say, the wood turtles, okay? Justin, can you zoom in on this guy, this cage? What I do is I keep them on an angle, so I make a beach, and then the little animals live in here in water, like a ½ inch of water. And then, you know, they have a dry area too. So that's usually how I keep my box turtles. Excuse the noise. We have some big sulcatas trying to find their way here. So anyway, this time I went with a very humid, moist cage. Enclosure, you could say. So this is peat moss and forest bedding. And the peat moss and forest bedding stays nice and wet and nice and moist. Look, there's an earthworm. And the other benefit to that is this right here. Let me show you guys something. You see this little guy? This is key to raising baby box turtles. They love earthworms. You're really close to me. Am I huge? I don't want my nostrils to look like fucking King Kong. Okay, so basically if your bedding, your substrate is right, if it's moist enough, not soaking wet where it's collecting water, but if it's moist enough, you'll have earthworms being able to do their natural thing like this, and you'll have a natural food source in there for your baby box turtles. And that's what I do. These are not red wigglers. These are European night crawlers. They're just small European night crawlers from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. So what I'm going to do first, when I do a soak in here, I just want to make sure everybody's drinking. And I noticed that, I guess from the heat light, the water bowls are running dry. So I know that they're kind of running out of water here and there, and I do fill it up a lot. So what I do is I'll get a bowl like this with some warm water in it, and every few days I'm going to give them a little soak, just to make sure they're drinking, they're hydrated. Because just living in a humid environment, look how pretty that one is. Some of these little boxers are so pretty. Just living in a humid environment isn't enough. They actually have to drink water too. So let's just get some box turtles out here. We'll get a little count. They love hiding under the natural decor. This is just something I found in the yard. It's like a clump of grass or vegetation or something. They get in there, they hide in there, the worms get in there. You want to kind of make it like it's in the wild in your house. Just like my animals outside. I make them so it's just like they're in the wild, but they're not. They're in captivity. Raised in captivity, born in captivity, but they think they're wild. So we're just going to go around and collect some box turtles here. Hey, chill out. I keep a lot of like fake plants and some real plants in the enclosure. I didn't even see that guy. They hide so well, and they love to burrow underneath of this stuff. And it's good to manipulate this stuff around because it mixes it. It mixes it up. It kind of and notice, see the bottom of the tank? There's no standing water. It's not holding water. But all the substrate is moist because I wet it a lot. They just keep coming.
Are they social? Do you notice them gathering up with each other? Or are they all kind
of? They
do.
When I first put here's another earthworm. When I first put the earthworms in the on the offering plate, their food plate, these are earthworms that slid off of the food plate and actually went to freedom, or not so much freedom, but you know, in the enclosure. All right, that's it. Oh, no, it isn't. I thought it was it. A lot of times I think that's it, and it's not it. Okay, put the food bowls up. Put this thing back. Look at that down in there. All right, and now we have our baby box turtles. These are our holdbacks. Some of these animals are very special because they came out of special adults, and there's just different reasons why I wanted to keep them, different reasons why I wanted to hold them. And I'm not that big on selling baby turtles. I mean, have you seen me on Morph Market selling baby turtles? I'm busy doing my thing. There's a lot of laws out there. I don't know what state, you know, from month to month, you can't have this, you can't have that. I almost rather just deal with a couple people, and if I have extra or leftover, guess what? I'll raise them up and I'll put them back out there in my pen because I love them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so I know I had a 20 lot and there's only 16 here, so there must be 4 still back in there. But I'm not going to take all the time to dig all through there. I'm going to get a little close up of some of these little babies, how healthy they are running around.
Oh.
Now, if by chance you live in a state where it is legal to buy from a licensed breeder like myself, I am state licensed. If you live in a state where it's legal, you want to buy a baby box turtle, I've seen people make comments, hey, how can I buy a baby box turtle? Sometimes they'll live in a state like PA or something like that where you can't have them. And like, just find out, just Google it. Can box turtles live where you live? And if they can, and if you're interested, hit me up. You know, while I have some, you know, maybe I'll be, you know, be able to sell you one or two. But basically, I just keep them. I don't really try and push them. Same with the wood turtles, the Diamondback terrapins. It doesn't matter. Blandings turtles, it doesn't matter. I just keep them. So okay, so now they got a little hydration. They soaked for about 5 minutes. Let's talk about the cage for a second. This enclosure has to be at least, I would say, 80% humidity. Now, that's showing 50% back there, but let me tell you, this is wet bedding, so it's got a lot of humidity. Okay, that's more than 50% to me. So I don't know what's going on with my hydrometer. Maybe it's just because it's up so high. I do have UVB that goes on for 6 hours a day. And I use the ZoomEd T5 high output for UV. I also use a mercury vapor bulb, which gives UVA and UVB. So like I said, what I would do is, if I was you and you wanted to keep baby box turtles, you know you have to keep them humid. You damn near have to keep them wet. You know what I mean? You have to keep them really moist. They will dry out like you wouldn't believe. I mean, and die. They'll dry out and die. So you don't want that to happen. You want to keep your babies very nice and healthy. So what I do is I use a forest bedding, which is comprised of peat moss, ground up cypress mulch. Sometimes it's 100% cypress mulch, but you can add some peat moss to it. Cypress moss is a great substrate because it sucks up that water and it holds onto it, and it's not really prone to molding. You don't see any mold in here. So that's what I do. And I make sure I give them about 2 or 3 inches, because baby box turtles like to burrow. They like to feel secure, and when they feel secure is when they're hiding, and they burrow down and they hide. Also, I do offer them a lot of earthworms. I don't feed crickets. I do have some mealworms. I feed them some mealworms. But I figure the mealworms and the earthworms could live in here, and these guys could naturally hunt like they would do out there in nature. So let's put some back. Make a little pile here, babies, and they'll kind of just disperse and go where they want to go. Flip them over. Sorry, little guys. Okay, and when I have leftover water, this is just clean water. I just dump it in there. and it just adds to their moisture level. And I just put this back in this little shelf. And then this little shelf is like something like I would, here's some baby concentric Diamondback terrapins. I do give them sun. They do get some sun. Okay, so back to the box turtles. That's what I do. I just close the doors. This holds enough humidity. The top is open. Okay, now if you have a humidity problem, this room holds good humidity. If you have a humidity problem, don't have an open top. You might want to cover your top and then cover your top with a towel, because half of it, not where the heat is. Don't start a fire on my watch, right? You know, keep the heat on one side and put a towel on the other side, and that'll kind of pack in the heat. I mean the humidity. For me, I have enough here. I'm always in here. I'm always taking care of the little leopard tortoises. Just cleaned these guys today. This is an everyday thing with the baby leopard tortoises. So, you know, I'm always in here. I'm always putting fresh water. I'm always putting fresh, you know, paper towels. I'm always doing cleanings. So if you stay diligent like that and you keep on doing it, even though, you know, it's a pain. It's a lot. You know, let's be honest. It's a lot to take care of a lot of animals. But if you stay diligent and you do it on a regular basis, your animals will be healthy and everything will work out great. So again, my favorite food to feed baby box turtles, European night crawlers, small ones. If they come in too big, this sounds gross, but you can take scissors and you can cut them up. That's what I do. And they smell them inside and they just go nuts. You can use dusted crickets, but you gotta, you know, I would probably alter the crickets a little so they can't eat. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Again, this was on how I keep my baby eastern box turtles. They need UVA, they need UVB, they need humidity, they need worms, they need a good substrate that's about 2-3 inches, and they need it to hold that water but not drown them. You want that to be real nice and moist, like on the verge of being wet, like you can wring it out, but not like so wet that water is accumulating underneath and that they can drown. Okay, so it's a little bit of common sense there too. Thank you for watching Tortuga Ranch. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.